Welcome back to Shutter Magazine. I'm Dustin Lucas, and today I'm wrapping up my workflow series for Lightroom Creative Cloud with my part 5, Finalizing Your Files. So today I'm going to talk about how to get your files sorted, how to rename them, and how to publish them or export them to uh, different online viewing sites for your clients. Things like ProShow Web, which is incredible for slideshow. I know Sal's been using them for a while and switched from Animoto. There's SmugMug, which is an online proofing site for your clients. It's very popular, very good company, very user friendly. And then there's a little newer company that's been out and that's gaining a lot of traction as well, and they're called Shootproof. And I'm going to show you how to export your files directly to those sites in order to get working with them as well, just to sort of cut down on that time of exporting the files out of Lightroom and then taking them directly into the site. It's sort of just a much quicker way to get the files there. So let's start by looking at file sorting and capture time sync. It's very important when you're thinking about renaming files and delivering files to your clients, because if you send them the original file name or you send them any other custom names and they're out of orders, a lot of times your clients are going to wonder where the other files are. And they're going to think, well, they paid thousands of dollars for your services, but they're missing files just because you're delivering file 1, file 2, and then file 9, file 12. They're going to wonder where those files in the middle are and think that they're getting ripped off. So what I like to do is rename the files 1 through whatever amount you call, and specifically I have 862 files selected to deliver to the client that are color corrected. So I want to have files 1 through 862 so they think they're seeing the best of the best, and there's no worry that there's other photos out there that they're missing. So let's start by looking at some file sorting methods. As you notice, I have capture time selected now. When you click in that option, you have a few other pretty popular options as well, like file name, and also added order and custom order. A lot of times, a lot of people like to use those. What I'm going to look at with capture time is I'm going to look at the order of my files, and what you're going to notice is I have both cameras showing all 862 files, but you're going to notice that it's all the same camera here, and I'm not seeing an interchanging of both cameras for the capture time, because the capture sync time isn't set between both cameras, and that's very important. As you see, I scroll down and we get through the whole day. We're going to get to these different creatives, and I get to my other camera, and I'm missing all these other files. So what we want to do is we want to sync the capture time between both these cameras. And by doing that, I explain in the article to look at two sort of peak or pinnacle moments, things like the first kiss or even the first look. So let's start by taking the main camera and the two images that I selected. For this camera, I chose 9639, which was 9639, which is going to be my first look. And I try to find that same split moment. Let's see here, 9639. I'm going to go ahead. I have 5 stars on this. For the sake of this, I've used color labels before. I'm going to go ahead and use a flag and pick that image. I'm also going to select another image here and choose 1016. That's going to be this dip kiss here. I've also wanted to choose this as well. As you see, I have a flag on it already. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for those same two photos. So the first look on this camera, I'm going to find 3417. And 3417 seems to be missing here. Let's see. Let me uncheck maybe my originals and see if I can just do flags. Let's see here, 3416. It might have been an unselected image. Let's go back and look at all original images. I'm quite certain I chose that image specifically because it was that same moment. Let's see here. 3417. Raws. $34.17. We're missing that file. Oh, it's here. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's flagged as well already. So let's just show both of those flagged images. We'll go to attribute. Alrighty. So the two files that I picked specifically are this first kiss, which these seem pretty much in the same instance. I know the with the angle, the gentleman in the background's kind of dipped down, especially with their sort of curve, which is pretty quick in this moment. The same sort of image here. So I chose these two. They're the closest images at the same time between both shooters, as well as the first look. And the one thing that I didn't like about the first look in trying to grab both of these images is because they are two different angles, but it is kind of difficult to determine if this is the exact same time. So what I decided to do is get rid of those and trying to sync the capture time and just looking between these two images in particular. And that's something that's always good to look at both sections specifically, but we're going to stick with the first kiss, and I'm going to narrow down back down to my 5 stars, and I'm going to pull up these two flagged images. So what I like to do is using my main camera, which specifically here, let's see here, my main camera time is very important, May 23rd at 6:01 p.m. And you're going to notice that the other camera is set up at March 22nd at 2:08:36 p.m. Well, these capture times are completely off. So what we're going to do is we're going to record this specific capture time and date. So what I like to do is write that down specifically, so that way we can change the other camera at that same time. So I'm going to do 5/23, 2015 at 6:01:28 p.m. So perfect. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit cancel. We're going to go to the other camera. We're going to select it. We're going to deselect on the flags, and we're going to make sure that we're selecting all the images, all 296. This is important, but we still have our main highlight on this 4132, this image here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the panel on the right hand side, and there's a selection under metadata. So you drop this section down, and next to capture time, it's going to let me change this. So we have the original time and the corrected time. So I need to change this to 5/23/2015. And I'm going to put this at the exact same time, 6:01:28. And I'm going to hit change all. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the two cameras. We're still in capture time. And what you're going to notice is my two flagged images are going to be very close to each other. It's actually in that same moment, here to here, which is perfect. So as you notice, the backbend isn't as deep here, but then it stretches really far, and it sort of mimics between both cameras. That's very important. You're going to see it kind of go back and forth there. Then they're standing up straight, and it's perfect. So those are very important things to look at. You also want to make sure, that we're not jumping ahead and we don't have images going out of sync. You see, they're not jumping around in the aisles. These are going in good sequential order. I always sort of double check those different scenes between both cameras, because sometimes there can be a little bit of an issue, and I always sort of match them at the same time. Just assume that they're at the same time, so that way everything's going to fall in order as it should. So now that we have these 863 files and we're ready to go, we've sorted the images by capture time, and now everything is in sync. You can go in and change the details if you want to separate the details and the getting ready between the guys and the girls. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to rename the files. We're ready for that stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the files, and under that same metadata option, you're going to notice there's a file name at the very top. So what we're going to do is I've already created a custom user preset, but we're going to go down here to edit, and I'm going to show you all these options. So it has original file name already listed in the example, and it's going to give me, it's going to list out how the file is going to look. So what I want to do is I want to change this to the bride and groom's name. So what I'm going to do is do Rachel underscore and underscore Tyler, and then I'm going to do underscore and leave that there. Well, what I also need to do is I needed to have a sequential order listed in the file name as well, and I like to choose the 4-digit option. So I'm going to go ahead and hit insert next to sequence, and what that's going to do is it's going to create that 4-digit sequence for me, so it counts them all the way up. And that's basically what I do for weddings. What we can do for this now is we can actually click on the preset and go down to save settings as a user preset and do bride and groom. Hit create. So it'll actually save this preset. So all we'll do is just enter in different information there. Once we do that, we can click done, and it's going to change all of these files in Lightroom, as well as it's actually changing the file name in your folder as well, and I'll show you that here. So on my hard drive where these files are saved, it's actually going to, let's see here, looks like it changed it in all my files at the bottom here that I have selected. So if we do this by the very bottom here, you're noticing that it's going to have my 1 all the way up to 862. It's because I have the file name set up. So if I put this to date modified, it puts them all in sequential order. So it has them, it actually changes the original file name within my sequence of files here. As you're noticing, there's going to be missing files within my RAWs. What's great about Lightroom is you have the ability to change these files back to their originals as well. So what we can do is, going back to file name, we can click in the file naming section, we can click edit. If I click file name, it's only going to see that as the Rachel and Tyler, underscore 0001. But what we can do is we can go to edit, and I can actually do original file name. So if I get rid of that, I can click original file name, and it's actually going to pull up how it was captured, which is incredible. So if you ever need to go back and figure out that specific name, or if you lose a file and you need it in a larger batch, this is always good to use as well as a backup. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel. I'm gonna hit cancel. I don't want to rename these for now. I'm gonna leave them 1 through 863. Now I'm at a perfect place to start thinking about my plugins for export and publishing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to File, and I'm gonna go into Plugin Manager. As you notice, I have all these different plugins installed, and I already have the Pro Show Web, Smug Mug, and the Shoot Proof installed. And whenever you want to add any other plugins that you've downloaded, if you need to do a manual install, what we're going to do is click on the add option, and in downloads, wherever the specific plugins are saved, you can select those, and it will install it directly in this window. Since we already have these installed, I'm going to go ahead and click done, and I'm going to start with doing the export to do the Pro Show Web. So what I'm going to do is just selecting a handful of images. I don't need to upload all of them right now, but let's just do these 5 images. We're going to do export. It's going to let me see here, export. As you notice, I have all these different user presets, these different specific sets. As I have one for Google for the Nix software, the default Lightroom presets, my X-Write preset for color passport checker, my user ones that I've created in the past. So dropping down here is the Pro Show Web. What we can do is it's already going to have me set up to upload directly to the Pro Show Web. What you're going to notice here is that you don't have too many options to change around. I'm going to type in Rachel Tyler. But I don't really have any options for renaming, refile size. It sort of does all that automatically, but you actually have the ability to change that, some of those adjustments here. So what I'm going to do is go back to, I'm going to hit done. In the Pro Show, let's see, should have the ability to, let's see what's going on. If I remember correctly, Publishing Manager, I know I have those options for Publishing Managers to change that, but maybe Pro Show doesn't allow me to change any of those options within Lightroom. It's going to automatically resize my files. I have my different themes. Let's do this. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to click Export. And what it should be doing in real time is sending these files directly to my ProShow web site. So as soon as Lightroom finishes, we're going to refresh the ProShow web page. And we should have those files loaded for us. Perfect. So I have the wedding day. I click here and my 5 files are already listed for me to start building my slideshow. So pretty simple for sending those files directly into directly to the site. Very interchangeable, very nice for saving time and just for convenience sake. What we're going to do now is do the same thing for SmugMug. What we need to do is we have the option first of all to change some of our file size. What you notice with SmugMug, we can change the file names as well as the file settings, different things like that. It's going to automatically set most of those for us, so there's no real need to change that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And what I'm going to do is right-clicking on the SmugMug Publish Services. We're going to create a gallery. We're going to name it Rachel Tyler Wedding Day. Custom URL. You have the option to make virtual copies, which is really nice if you want to separate these files within Lightroom. And then also you can make a target collection if you want to revert back to these specific files that you're selecting for this for uploading to your SmugMug folder. If you're creating different for details, for ceremony, for reception, if you're creating different organizing the day into different categories, which is kind of nice. We're going to go ahead and hit create. And these 5 images, we can go ahead, and now that they're in this folder, we can go ahead and hit publish now. And it's going to update our collection. Let's see if it's doing it just yet. Let's go into our SmugMug. Sometimes this can take a little bit of time to upload, but it is something where if you're doing hundreds of photos, you could let it run, walk away from your computer, which is nice. It'll automatically start uploading. So it's giving you a verification that the files are uploading. A SmugMug, as I refresh it, you're going to start to see photos populating onto the site. So as that runs and takes its time to do that, it's nice that it gives you lets you know which photos are uploading. And just syncing the website with Lightroom and just refreshing your page once these are done Should finish that up as well. Once the last photo is done, we'll do the same thing for shoot proof, viewing the images on there. Perfect. So it looks like it has everything published to my SmugMug site. Now I can refresh, and all my photos are listed there. Perfect. We're going to do the same thing with the shoot proof. We're going to right click, select that. Let's see here. Let's go back to selects, 5-star. We're going to pick these first 5 images, and we're going to right click on shoot proof, and we will do create publish collection. So we're going to go ahead and do Rachel. Wedding day. Include selected photos. Hit create. And these are new photos to publish. We haven't published them yet. This is also another option. As I select them, we have the publish button here. It's ready for us to use. Can't update this collection. Must be uploaded to an event or an album. Please move the collection to a collection set. Let's see here. Edit. There's SmugMug. See what problem we're running into here. This is perfect. So we can go ahead and let's create a collection set, like it's saying. We'll put this within the collection set, like it's saying. We'll update the published collection. So in creating a set first, I just needed to put the specific collection within that, which is perfect for this. So whenever you're uploading and it's not responding, or you're having any issues with Lightroom, it's always good to see that happening with me as well. It's normal. So just following those instructions and creating the collection set, then moving our collection into that set, will now allow us to wait for Lightroom to update the published photos list. We can now refresh the site. Once it finishes the last image, we'll refresh the website, and all the images should be there. This is a little time consuming, of course, in the exporting the files out of Lightroom, then having them upload to the site. That will definitely depend on the hardware of your computer is definitely as well as your internet connection. But with that, you can do this to hundreds of photos, walk away, let them upload at once. So it's not a two-step process; it's a one-step process into getting them directly to the site. And so now what we can do is we'll refresh our page to sync it up, and now all 5 of my images are there. It's pretty great. But that's all that I have for you guys for finalizing files and sort of utilizing some of these plugins, utilizing the sort by renaming features in Lightroom as well. If you have any questions or anything else, definitely write on the website. Be more than happy to fill you on anything else. And so wait till next time. Thanks a lot.